So basically, in 2017, this is where the depression part starts. Woo, yay! Finally! Oh my gosh. Hello, my name is Jessica. In this video, I'm just going to skim through my story from when I was a child, and then once I came to America, my experiences here in America, and when I had my first panic attack. So that's the story, but it's not gonna be too much in depth because there's a lot of information. A lot of things happen, so I might get a little confusing, but right now I'm just kind of telling the story, and then I don't want to drain anybody, so yeah, it's gonna be a quick story. Oh, also, I am not wearing any makeup today because I wanted, to be myself as possible, I guess. I was not aware of these things before I went through it. I would just hear people talk about, oh yeah, I suffer of anxiety, I suffer of depression, and I'm here like, what does that even mean? So I am here to express my experience with it, which was a horrible experience. As I said before, when people talk about it, I didn't really understand what that meant. A bunch of my friends talk about anxiety. Yeah, I've been dealing with anxiety ever since I was young, and I'm here like, anxiety is not a real thing. Anxiety is just in your head. If you train yourself to not think about it like that, it'll go away. It's not that easy, unfortunately. And fortunately, I had to learn it for myself. It was my entrance to the world of anxiety and depression. It was horrible. I would never wish for anybody to go through that. Nobody deserves to go through what I went through. I'm going to try to make this video as short as possible. When I edit, I'm going to cut a lot of parts anyway. I don't even know why I'm saying this. I have something to read off of, so let us start. I'm pretty sure my anxiety, or whatever it was, I'm pretty sure it started when I was a child, when I was really bullied, because I lived in a predominantly white community in Portugal. So I am pretty sure it started there, but I didn't know what anxiety was. I didn't know what depression was. So I was just a little different from other kids, I guess. I was always slower. Sometimes catch myself like picking on my cuticles and like destroying them, and then I find myself always bleeding in my fingers, and I'm like, why am I always bleeding? It's because sometimes I just yank my skin. Like, I don't notice when I do it. Other people are the ones who tell me, Jess, like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I stopped doing that to my nails though. My nails are actually long. But when I was younger, I used to yank my nails, yank my cuticles, everything. Sometimes it would come all the way down to my finger. And I never understood why I was like this and other kids weren't. I just grew up thinking that I'm lazy or weird. On top of being one of the only black people in my community in school, I was also bigger than the other kids, and especially when I had to repeat 6th grade. People would call me gorilla, and people would make noises when I would come in. I would cry every day, and people are like, why are you crying? Just defend yourself. And I'm like, I never had the personality of answering back and being, rough and I was never like that. I totally respect the people who were and are. Sorry, I really don't like the reflection in my glasses. Sorry, I'm not well lit. Okay, that looks good, I think. This looks better. As I was saying, on top of being black, I was also bigger than the other kids, and especially when I got to 6th grade, it got way worse. 13 is the age where women really grow. I was like a woman, and these other kids below me were like 12 and 11. Of course I was gonna be one of the tallest, if not the tallest person in the class, but I could not defend myself. And then I remember the day that my life literally changed. One day I was like, you know what? Why don't I just throw up everything I eat? I know that sounds really disgusting. Child's head, it just made sense if I did want to lose weight and if nothing else seemed to work. I started doing that at age of 14, and I finally felt accepted. As a child, I was never really accepted. I was always the different one. I was always the black one or the fat one, and everybody was like lighter skin, skinny and pretty and silky long hair, and I had my permed. Sometimes it would look nice because I went to the salon type of hair. I just never knew how my hair even looked like. I came to America and I was like, oh, I can actually start from scratch. These people don't know I was ever bullied. These people don't know that I was not liked back at home. I met a bunch of Angolans. I'm going to show the map right now. Whatever I show, that's where Angola is. Not Mongolia, okay? Angola was a colonized country by Portugal. The language that is spoken in Angola is Portuguese. My parents are from Angola and I was born and raised in Portugal, so that's where everything links up. Okay, so now that I'm done with that explanation, when I came to America, I went to the school called Shenandoah Valley Academy. I became friends with the Portuguese speakers. I wanted to be friends with the Americans. That's where my mentality was. The Angolans at my school were, I don't know if this word is used here, elite, you know, so I got kind of intimidated by that as well. So I just became more friends with the Americans. And then that's when I started really learning English. Making that step made me a person who just wants to please everyone. Anywhere I would go, I'd just be like, hey, hi. If I'm with a friend, I have to stop to talk to an acquaintance for like 10 minutes because that's the type of person I was. I was just a people's pleaser. Even if I was late for class and I saw somebody I knew, I would stop and talk to them and just be tardy for class. And that kind of transferred over to when I came to Andrews. Of course, at Andrews it was a little bit different. Andrews is a school I attend currently. When I came to Andrews, I tried very hard to be liked by every single person, not accepting the fact that there's always gonna be that one person that does not like you for no reason. I tried to be really liked and I tried to be invited to everything and I tried to be part of everything. People would say no, people would ignore me. Some people would pretend that I'm not even there, which made me feel like complete. But I had to accept it because I was living in the dorm for 3 years. It got so bad that I just moved out with my best friend Katrina. I just started not caring. So when I first started at Andrews, I started as an architect major because that's what my parents wanted me to do. Then when I became a junior, I wasn't accepted to the program and I was doing everything I could. My GPA was literally 0 point something points away from the GPA required to be part of the architecture program, and I was still not accepted. I put a lot of stress on myself. I blamed myself a lot. I hid that from my parents for the longest time, called myself dumb. I didn't like myself at that point. I felt like complete trash. I decided to do photography because I talked to my advisor. She was like, oh yeah, just do an art major or whatever, and then you can kind of like combine the two. And when I tell you, when I went to photography, I did not give a crap about architecture anymore. Like, architecture was in the past. Switching to photography was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life, but I am still graduating with an architectural degree along with the photography, but I'm not gonna be an architect. I respect the people who love it, graduated with architecture bachelor's, architecture master's. Wow, I respect the life out of you. I can't imagine that life for me. So switching to photography was the best decision of my life because now I know myself as an artist and not as something that my parents wanted me to be. Where was I? So basically in 2017, this is where the depression part starts. Woo, yay! Finally! Oh my gosh. Just trying to give you guys some context to the whole story because I didn't want to just jump into it, but here it comes, the part that matters. So in 2017, I decided to change. I decided to not care about anyone. I decided to just be me, wear what I want, you know. I got tired, you know, of pleasing everyone. Spring semester of 2017, I actually did pretty well. But the problem was, because I didn't care anymore, people started liking me more, which to me it made no sense. People started inviting me places. Like, I made so many friends. I never really felt important. I was just known. But in 2017, I actually felt like I was an important person. I know this sounds so ridiculous, but hang on. I made some decisions that semester. So there was a lot of drama in my life during that semester, it ended really, really badly. Like, rumors were going on around me and people believed it because I was seen as a wild person, I guess. On top of people believing the rumors, on top of all the drama in school, I also was dealing with a lot of people back at home. They were basically like, never talk to me, we are not even the same we were before, and like that made me feel like shit. I was really trying to not care. So my dad called me one day and he said a bunch of shit. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna hang up and I'm gonna go to sleep. And I went to sleep, and when I tell you, my dad called me at 8 a.m. At 10 a.m. I felt like my heart was like popping out of my body. Like, oh my gosh, like, it was really bad. Laying down next to a very important person to me, whose name I'm not going to mention until like I start vlogging. I'll be more comfortable to, you know, mention names. I was next to him and I just started screaming. Like when I looked at the ceiling, everything was circling around. I don't know how to explain. It was terrible. I felt like my head was gonna burst. I felt like my heart was just gonna, you know, I felt like I was having a heart attack. He took me to the car and then he rushed me to the hospital because I really didn't know what was going on. We got to the hospital and we were super worried. I was crying, I was freaking out, you know, I thought I was dying. I was laying in that whatever it was for a while, and then the doctor came in. He was like, oh, so you had a panic attack. Bitch, what? How was that a panic attack? Like, that was physical. Like, I felt it in my heart. He was like, the brain does things that we cannot imagine. And he basically went on to talk about anxiety and depression. I was here like, wait, are you serious? How is this guy telling me that I had a panic attack when I had a heart attack? It just didn't make any sense to me. It made no sense. So I was in denial for a very, very long time. I didn't know what to even think, so I tried to ignore it. They did recommend me to go to another clinic, but I didn't go because I was just trying to, you know, avoid money and stuff like that, you know, bills and stuff. The week after, I had another panic attack, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And then I was rushed to the hospital again. They were like, why didn't you go to the clinic? So after that, I did go to the clinic. They basically got a counselor, and they were like, oh, you're a beautiful person. I was there like, wait, what? And then I actually became friends with somebody in there who turned out to be my neighbor. And he's a really cool person. We still talk till this very day. And it happened so fast. And like, I asked my dad if I could take a semester off, and he was like, no, just do it. And then going into this year was just one of the most horrible experiences of my life. And this is going to be the first part of the video because now the video is just too long. So this video is more about anxiety. In the next video, I will be talking more about depression. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope it was somewhat helpful. Don't hesitate to give me a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe. I am not stopping you and I'm not forcing you. So feel free to do whatever you want. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Okay, bye.